Alrighty. Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. It happened yesterday. As a good little Nintendo fan, I was up early, impatiently waiting for this thing to finally get, not announced, but finally they dropped the details and we know what's going on. I was pretty excited for this. As you know, I use Nintendo Switch guy, as you would say. I got the OLED, and I was pretty excited for this. I've had a Switch since about 2018. Played all the other consoles, but Switch, that's my go-to. That's Nintendo, the glove that fits. But Nintendo's a company. They make some iffy choices, but I always go to them for my games. I just enjoy their games and their hardware more. But I was very excited for this Direct. So, yeah, I'm just going to talk today about my opinions about the Direct, everything that happened afterwards. I'm just going to be kind of going off the cuff. I've been watching just straight up videos about this, people talking about it. So, I got some opinions, I feel like. But let's talk about the Direct. So, Direct happened about 8 o'clock, I think it was 8 o'clock. I was up at about 7. I was up and ready. So the Direct happened, and immediately they opened up with Mario Kart World, which is pretty much just like an open world, like Forza Mario Kart game, which looked good. I never had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on my Switch. I like Mario Kart. I have played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Goated game. And this game looks pretty good. Being able to just drive around, I can imagine, late nights driving around the Mario Kart world, having a good time. I gotta keep the mic by my face. But yeah, no, it looked pretty good. Graphically, everything in the showcase looks so good. And when we get to the third-party stuff, but anyways, so then after that, they introduced the team, which was completely different people this time. It wasn't like the usuals. Which is good to know that we have like a younger new staff working on this. It's not just like, the older generation, holding their guard, younger people in the staff are coming in, giving their input. And you can tell because, it's noon. Noon one's going off, but you could tell just by the specs of this thing. So after Mario Kart World, I'm pretty sure they went straight and talking about the specs, which I'm going to talk about. This thing is nutty. Now, I've used a Steam Deck. My older brother has one. He let me borrow it for like a couple of months. Or he didn't let me borrow it, but I just gave it back to him because I was done playing with it. It was good. It runs most games pretty well. I beat a couple games on it. I played Arkham Knight on there, and it ran pretty well. The PC version ran well on Steam Deck. I know, crazy. But, I played Elden Ring, and Elden Ring was good. But when you get to like not the halfway point, but when you fight... Is it Godric? It might be Godric. The golden dude. It really started chugging on my Steam Deck. And then I just kind of gave up. But, this is pretty much the comparison I was hoping for, was that the Switch would be around the Steam Deck. And it seems like it's going to be as powerful as the Steam Deck. I mean, it's going to be able to run Cyberpunk and Elden Ring. Probably well. I would assume... I hope it's not like last gen versions. I've heard the last gen versions can barely hold 30 frames. But they say the Cyberpunk will be able to hit 40 frames. And Elden Ring on my Steam Deck was able to run at 45 frames for the early sections, like locked pretty well. Obviously, when it started tanking near the end, I had like my battery saving on and stuff. But, they could probably get, if they can get Elden Ring running pretty good on that thing, like even if it's just like a cap lock 30 frames the entire time, no dips. That would be good. And then performance mode like 40 maybe. But if they even do that, I mean, that's pretty good. I see people hating on it like, it's just a PS4. We get in 120 frames per second, dog. I don't even know the PS4 Pro would do that. Let alone the regular PS4. We're not even talking about the original Xbox. But yeah, no, I mean... the Joy-Cons look really nice, the way the magnets come off, big thing. I have a Joy-Con right now that the lock doesn't work on it. It's like one of my OG Joy-Cons, but it just doesn't lock it. You can just rip it off here. Hold up, let me go get it. So I have it in the grip here, but This is with my real Switch, but I don't really feel like. Oh, there goes my phone. I don't really feel like putting it on my real Switch, so just not pressing the back, just lifting it. Boom. Ripped off just like that. But this red one, this is pretty new, I think. It's on there. So yeah, seeing that these Joy-Cons are actually like really nice, magnetically sturdy, and the treehouse is going on today. I'm filming this on the 3rd, and I've been seeing, you know, some snippets and stuff from it. Not everything yet. There's probably gonna be more information about tonight. This video is gonna be so outdated by the time I post it, but I just feel like getting it up now. I'm already getting into the third-party stuff without even getting into it. But yeah, no, specs look good. Screen looks nice. I have the OLED. It's gonna be bigger than the OLED. It's gonna be the same thinness, which I like. I'm like getting marks in my hands, I swear, from always playing the Switch with no grip. I'm too lazy to buy a grip, and I don't mind the Switch with no grip. It does hurt though. I can't lie, it does hurt. But I have like the thumb caps on my Joy-Cons to make the things bigger, and that's pretty much what they did with the Joy-Cons, which is nice. The side triggers are nice and bigger. Oh, they introduced the game chat with the C button. The big C button. Everybody was tweaking about the C button. You know, there was so many conspiracies. You know, was the C button, you know, if you press the C button, does it launch all the nukes in the world, you know? Did the C button cure cancer? I don't know. But now we do. It's game chat. They decided that it was 2007, and we gotta introduce game chat into the world. Because game chat, you know, it's not a real thing. I've never heard of game chat before. I've always had to call my friends like on my phone before. So this is a good invention. Nothing else out there I've ever used for game chat. Nothing. This is the first thing ever. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, during it was cool, but afterwards, it's like, come on, man. We should have had game chat with the original Switch. And I mean, I don't know. It's nice, but at the same time, game chat's locked behind having a Nintendo Switch Online, and you have to pay for that. So after that year, which it's nice that it's a year, but it should be free. Game chat should be the main thing. If it's going to be a button on your Switch, if you press it, it says you have to pay to use it. That's a bit crazy. Yeah, I'm going way ahead of myself. Let me get through this. So yeah, game chat's a thing. There's a microphone on the Switch, just like the DS 3DS had, which is really nice. Really cool to see that coming back. Game sharing with the camera they come in. You can use any camera, not just the Switch camera, which is nice, but it runs at like 15 frames, which it's decent. I'm not gonna complain too much about it. It is game sharing, you know. Like, and do you really need to see your friend's gameplay, like all that's like high quality, if you're just gonna be looking at it for like a little bit? And then you can even hide it too, so it's not even, it's like a complete option. So I don't mind it. They'll fine tune it at some point. They just had to have something for it, but they'll fix it. Hopefully. But yeah, that's pretty much all they showed. The screen has HDR. The dock has a fan in it, which makes me a bit nervous that the Switch is going to get hot. I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure the Switch is going to be decently powered, but the Steam Deck gets really hot. I mean, that thing just, you kick up like Monster Hunter World or Elden Ring, and your hand turns to a cooked marshmallow. But which, yeah, that's the one thing that makes me think, because the OG Switch would get really hot because I had a 2018 2017 model before the red box, so I've had every model of the Switch. The OG Switch Lite, OG, then I got a red box, and then I had a Switch Lite because I sold my red box, and now I have the OLED, and OLED is the best one. But anyways, I do like how slim the Switch is, and if it's the same slimness, I feel like that'll be decent. So it won't be too bad. But yeah, no, specs look good. Everything looked good about it. But yeah, no, worried about the overheating. The dock, yep, that's what I was talking about. The dock with the fan cooling, nice. That means when you dock it, it'll be nice and cool. But that makes me think that the Switch will get really, really hot. Maybe overheating issues at launch is what I'm thinking. Hopefully not, but that could be a possibility. I know the Switch at launch had some issues. I can't recall them right now, but so after the hardware, they just said, we got games. They said, we got games. First game, Elden Ring. I jumped for joy. finally confirmed. Full circle moment. The Breath of the Wild inspired Souls game is coming to Switch. It's a bunch of third party. Actually, I'm not gonna go in order. I'm just gonna shout ones that I remember. We got, all the sports games. Madden, Madden's finally coming, for those people that couldn't just step outside and throw the football. That's coming to Switch, so you can finally step outside with your Switch and play football. Good for you. Yeah, all the major sports games I think got announced for Nintendo Switch. 2K, WWE 2K is coming. Hopefully it's actually good and not WWE 2K18. Regular 2K is coming. That's good. Wild Hearts was one that kind of caught my eye. I can't remember too much about that game, but that one looked interesting. We're getting Final Fantasy VII and Rebirth, I think, which that was originally showed. Okay, so there was like a tech demo in like I can't even remember, but it was like at a Gamescom, and they brought a bunch of developers in the back, and they showed Switch 2 running Final Fantasy VII and Breath of the Wild 60 frames, which we're gonna get into that later. But yeah, no, they showed a bunch of just third parties, and they all look good. Cyberpunk, as I said, is what I'm picking up day one. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be one of the release. I'm pretty sure it's a launch title, so I'm gonna be picking up Cyberpunk. I think Cyberpunk's the game I'm gonna get. But yeah, I'm really excited for Cyberpunk. Chilling with Keanu Reeves, on the go will be really cool. Obviously Switch. Silksong, Hollow Knight. Everybody's been excited for that. I've never played Hollow Knight. I might have to now because it's just been so hype. I'll just get it on my Switch. Yeah, they announced. GameCube games. Maybe we finally get Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. Melee on the GameCube online, and I can finally play that no emulator, because that is the one game that I just need to play. I just want to be able to play that game whenever. That is a goated game. If you know, goated game. But anyways, you also got Wind Waker. There's a tease about a remake of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for either last week's Direct or this Direct. We got kind of one. It's in higher quality, image quality on Nintendo Online, which is nice. So, it's a big bonus. But yeah. So, next thing is, we'll talk about the enhanced games. And they said you can play 3 kinds of games. You can play your Switch 1 games, that don't use things like the IR camera or something like that. But they might work around that. There's like a list of games that don't work. Things like Alan Wake Remastered, some weird things like that, like were on there. So you never know. I'm hoping this all mine work. But at the Treehouse today, they were saying that transfer games work pretty well. So I think we're good on that. But they say so you can play your Switch 1 games, Switch 2 games, and then Switch 2 Edition games. Which, okay. So this is what I'm going to get into. So there's Switch 2 Edition games of Switch 1 games, which are 60 frames, or not just 60 frames, but higher quality performance. But not only that, it's like additional content as well, which makes it the addition. So like adding Switch 2 features like the mouse controls. Oh, I didn't even get into that. There's mouse controls. We're full PC gaming on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, no, that's even, that just makes, like things like the Steam Deck trackpad and stuff, it just makes that, it just makes it a competitor to that, because you can literally use it like a mouse. You can dual mouse too. There was that game they showed off, which right before the third parties, that one game, which looked cool. I'm probably never playing, but anyways, yeah. But, so the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games will have extra content, and those you'll pay for. We're gonna get in the price for those, because there's one where I'm like, G Wilkers. But anyways, but then there are just going to be regular games that are getting free updates that enhance performance and visuals, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Mario Odyssey, which is nice. So it's not all paid upgrades. Only if there's additional content will they pay for the upgrade. But if there's none, free updates, which I'm hoping things like Outer Worlds, because all the DLC is on there, it just gets like free, and a free update makes it look nice. Games like Wolfenstein, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, stuff like that, because I think all the DLC and stuff's out for that, for just getting those free updates, just making you want to buy a Switch 1 just so you can play those games that just got those ports that are really cool, but then you get like the real experience on the go with like the modern and enhanced visuals, which is nice. And it it makes the fact that you are paying for a Nintendo Switch 2 edition game a little more reasonable because you are getting extra content. But the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, yes, they looked beautiful. I'm probably never gonna play Tears of the Kingdom. I think I'm just gonna stick with I think I'm just gonna replay Breath of the Wild. I really like Breath of the Wild. It took me like forever to beat, but it was a good game. I'm playing through Immortals Phoenix Rising right now, and that's also like kind of a Breath of the Wild clone, but it's really good too. But I don't know. I might end up buying Tears of the Kingdom, but I've seen the price. Probably not. We'll get into that later. But yeah, no. So it's going good so far. And then they introduce a new Daemon X Machina game that's coming to Switch. It looked really nice. I might pick that up. They announced so much stuff. Kirby Air Riders is getting Kirby Air Ride's getting a sequel. Kirby Air Riders. Oh, the new Donkey Kong game, Jamboree. Everybody was saying new 3D Mario. I was thinking that makes sense. Odyssey literally came out when the Switch released, and we've only gotten like the 3D Land remake or 3D World. I can't really remember, but with the Bowser's Fury thing, which I heard was good. But I'm trying to think. There's some other really good stuff announced. But I'm drawing a blank because I just want to rant. I want to rant a bit. But there was some this direct genuinely was all positive. But after they announced their third parties, they just went over like a few more stuff. Oh yeah, there's that Pac-In game they showed right after they showed the specs that has like all the features of the Switch, which was cool. But yeah. So they end the Switch by announcing the release date, June 5th. Good. I was saying May 27th. Why? I don't know. I just said I was really hoping late May, but it looks like that's not the case. Pre-orders I think are up now. I don't know. I signed up for the Nintendo pre-orders. I decided not to do like Best Buy, and you need like the 12-month online subscription. I think 50 hours, and your boy got that. So we applied. Hopefully we get it. If I get it, I'll pre-order. If not, I'll probably wait to see if there's a price drop, which we're about to get into. But yeah, no. Oh, there is an exclusive Souls game coming to Switch from FromSoft. The Duskbloods. I generally thought it was Bloodborne 2. It wasn't. But it's gonna be like PvE. I don't know. It might be cool. It might not. I hope it's fun. It's from software, so you never know. But yeah, no. Direct was good. It did crash halfway through, like when they were announcing Cyberpunk and Silksong, like during that reel, which was whatever. I mean, it's a stream with like a bunch of people watching. Technical difficulties are going to happen. But overall, I was hyped. But they didn't say the price for anything during the Direct. The cloud over this Direct was no pricing announced. When they said the date, when they announced the bundle with Mario Kart World, no price. When they announced Nintendo Switch Edition games, no price. They just kind of said nothing about prices. They just announced, we got games. 80 Dawa games. 80 Dawa games? $80? Now people are saying this $90 thing. But from what I've seen, Best Buy in places, hold up, let me try and pull it up. Best Buy in places, I saw that Best Buy in places just have it for 80, like for the physical. Like I don't know, I think the 90 was just misinformation. Pre-orders begin, yeah. So pre-orders on Best Buy are the 9th of this month, so 4/9. And then at 12:01 you can pick it up in stores. I might do that. Yeah, it just says it's 80. So I think the $90 is misinformation. And on the Nintendo website, there's no $90 game. So the $90 I think is misinformation. I want to hope so. But $80 game? Now, Mario Kart World is going to be $80. Alright? That's a lot of money. Okay? And I was going to say here, Like, oh, they're not being greedy. You know, they'll probably that's gonna be the only Mario Kart game that comes out on Switch. I don't even play Mario Kart, but I'm just making an excuse for them. Not for me, but just to be like, oh, that's maybe why. Only Mario Kart game, all DLC is free for the whole lifespan, or like for the next 4 or 5 years of content, however long they can do it for. It's all free maps, free everything, but it's just super expensive to ensure that they make profit from doing that. But then I saw the price for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom was the exact same price, a game that just released like maybe 2 years ago, just running at 60 frames, 4K with the little like navigation thing. $80 game, Breath of the Wild with the 4K stuff. $70, a game that came out, what was it, 2017? I was in 7th grade when that game came out. I'm 21 now. I'm out of college now. And that game is $70. A game that's still $60 on Switch, the digital version. You want me to pay $70? So what does it mean to upgrade from the regular Switch edition to... Camera turned off again, okay. But this $80 standard is insane. And the console itself, the pricing is just weird. So, you know, your boy was really praying for that $400. It's $450. Now, I can understand. They did show this thing being as powerful as modern consoles. And it's slim, it's sleek, it looks clean, it looks like it's, you know, even though it's bigger, I would assume that it's still going to be as portable as a Switch because of how slim it is. You can like slide it in like a MacBook or something. But $450 and then your games are $80. PS4 and PS5 aren't even that. Well, no, actually no. PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I completely forgot Xbox existed. But yeah, their games are still like $70. An Xbox Series X, no one's buying that. You could probably get that for a somewhat decent price. But the Switch is $450 and you're gonna charge me $80 for a Mario Kart World that potentially that DLC is gonna be paid for. They're gonna have to pay for it. $80 for a game that came out 2 years ago that just has enhanced, you know, like frame rate and visuals. You're gonna charge me $80 for that, not just, you know, it being a free upgrade. Same with Breath of the Wild, a game that's 8 years old, you're gonna charge me $70 for. Like, that's crazy. Now also there is the $500 bundle with Mario Kart World, which I think I've heard is, you know, which makes sense that would they want to charge $500, but they're like, that's crazy, so they just they said let's make Mario Kart World cheaper with the bundle, which is what they might be wanting to do, is have everybody buy the bundle. I'm not buying the bundle because I don't want to support these $80 games being sold, so I'm gonna buy the Switch separate. Give me some Cyberpunk. I got Pikmin 1 and 2 I still gotta beat. Videos on those coming soon. I think I'm gonna play Pikmin 2. I'm playing Pikmin 1, but I think I'm gonna switch to Pikmin 2. I think that's more linear. But dog, $80 games. And then $90, I'm almost confident that's misinformation. I saw only one thing about that, and that's it. But no, the pricing of the system, Bax was saying, is weird, because $450 here, but in Japan, it's region locked, and it's like $100 cheaper. Like, I swear it's like $330. I've only seen one thing about that. But I've also seen another thing about that now, which is like, actually no, it was a Nintendo Life, I swear just talked about it. Yeah, no, it is cheaper in Japan, which is crazy. Which I get it, tariffs, whatever, but like, come on, don't make the Switch 2 region locked and then make your Japanese version cheaper. That is insane. You're just like canceling out the United States market, which is thanks to, you know, a certain man in office right now. But still, that's just crazy. You know, it's just shutting off the Western market from the Switch 2, making it super expensive here and then cheaper in Japan. Like, significantly cheaper in Japan. It's just crazy. But, you know, they're really, as I was going to make this analogy, which I saw again on Nintendo Life, they're 3DSing it right now. You know, the 3DS when it launched was like $250 something crazy. Then it drops like to $170. But I had a 3DS growing up. Actually, let's talk about the 3DS. Hold on. So this right here is this is a new 3DS. It's beat up. I bought it on Marketplace just because I wanted a 3DS. But this is the new one with the interchangeable face plates. This thing is awesome. Portable, slim. It does have enough buttons. So, yeah, no. Goated upgrade. I had the new 3DS XL. It was passed on from my brother forever. But I remember when the new 3DS came out and it was like the new 3DS XLs, like these ones, and it was like $300. I remember begging my parents for like 2 years straight to get it for me. And they were fused, bro, because like that thing is expensive. My knees just popped. But eventually when the new 2DS XL came out and that thing was like, I can't remember, it was cheaper, like $250, $200. They eventually got it for me and I played it for like a year, and then I got the Switch. But this is what that feels like. Just the second update of the console that looks really similar to the Switch, and I feel like parents aren't going to want to buy it for their child because it's similar to the Switch. And the Switch already has a bunch of great games, and there's going to be more games coming to it for at least a year. And there's still like compatibility with like the game sharing, which was announced, I didn't really talk about because it's only like for select games. But yeah, stuff like that. So, you know, I don't know. I'm excited for the Switch 2. I'm excited. I'm going to be picking up Cyberpunk, Elden Ring. You know, I have regular Switch Online. Hopefully they come out with more stuff for Switch Online for like the regular people that just want to use it for games. For gaming, you know, maybe they add like DS for regular people, or they move like Game Boy Advance over or something. But who knows? You know, I'm really excited for Nintendo. We're not excited actually. I'm nervous, very nervous. I want the Switch 2. I want better, more powerful games, but these prices are high, and I feel like it's just the new precedent. So, but we'll see. There's the Treehouses coming up. There's like a Mario Kart World Direct or something. Comes out June 5th. A lot could change, but I felt like getting this out now, just some real quick immediate thoughts and reactions just to talk about it. But yeah, no, that's all. So yeah, Switch 2, it exists. It's causing terror.